now 5:30, and I call this meeting of the Paducah Planning and Zoning Commission to order. I ask that you stand with us as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Benberry, Mr. Bradford.
Here.
Mr. Morrison, Ms. Shrimke.
Here.
Mr. Shadle.
Here.
Mr. Wade.
Here.
Chair Casillas.
Here. This is our first meeting of the new year, and at our first meeting, we elect our officers. And so now I'm going to turn the meeting over to our counselor, Dan Key.
Okay, the first order of business is electing a chairman or a chairperson for year 2019. So I will open the floor for nominations to be chairperson.
I would nominate Commissioner Casillas.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Do I hear any further nominations? Hearing none, do I hear a motion that the nominations cease and we elect Ms. Casillas chairperson by acclamation?
So move.
Second? Second. Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll turn it over to Ms. Casillas as the chairperson again.
Thank you.
On that motion to cease and elect by acclamation, who was the,
Bradford.
okay, who made the motion?
Shayla.
Mr. Shadle.
We all got in on that one.
Now we would,
everyone.
as our second item of business, we now open the floor for vice chairman, and I nominate Lorraine Shrimke.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? I would entertain a motion that nominations cease and that we elect Ms. Shrimke by acclamation.
So move. Second.
Second. Shadle and Wade. He wasn't looking up. I had to let him know. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Thank you. All right,
Thank
moving on to business. Our first item of business, Mr. Shadle. I believe you have that item.
I believe we need to do the minutes first.
Oh, sorry, forgot that.
It's not on the agenda, but it is in our packet.
It is. Sorry, I did have that written down here. Sorry, Mr. Bradford, you have that
Oh, it is
item.
on the agenda.
I move that the reading of the minutes for December 3rd, 2018 be waived and that the minutes of said meeting as prepared by the secretary be approved as written.
Second.
Second by Shramke. Are there any corrections, changes? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Ms. Shrimke?
Aye.
Mr. Shadle?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Chair Casillas.
Aye. Mr. Shadle, now we will have the first item of business.
I move that this commission receive and file the application of Nancy Jennings and Justin and Evelyn Hildreth for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 3900, 3914, 3926 Primrose Place. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and the dedication of streets be given and approval of the submitted plat be granted.
Second.
Second by Shramke.
This is just an abolishment and reestablishment of a line for a vacant lot between two properties. Ms. Jennings has been maintaining a strip of ground that they're simply wanting to convey to her. Mr. Tosh is here to answer any further questions you all may have.
The frame shed, who does that belong to?
On where it says consolidated lots 9A and 10. Which frame shed? There's one on each
shed
lot.
here at the
Oh, I'm sorry, the body, it's
9A.
That belongs to the Hildreth.
So they currently have that, or
they've had that on somebody else's lot.
No, they actually, they own that.
They own that. I was
Yes.
thinking it was the other way around.
Yes, no.
So
they own
they're
that.
conveying a
Gotcha.
portion of that
They're conveying
property?
to Mrs. Jennings a 20-foot strip, and
Okay.
you'll see there's a
Yeah,
dash
okay.
line there where it's noted that it's being abolished.
Right.
She's wishing to widen her driveway. She has a large family, an extended family, when they visit, and they had to park on the street.
And
So
she had maintained that
Mhm.
anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Physically on the ground, if you looked at it, it looks like it goes with her property.
Are there any other comments, questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Shadle?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Ms. Shramky?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. Mr. Wade, you have the next item of business.
I move that this commission receive and file the application of Ronnie Schraub for the purpose, or for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 6700 Tuscan Road and 1211 West Wind Drive. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and the dedication of the streets be denied, and the approval of the submitted plat be denied as presented.
Second.
Second by Shadle.
A little bit of new information on this. Staff's recommendation was for denial based on density, maintaining density in that neighborhood. As long as any new lot created wasn't less than 18,300 square feet, which is the lot next to 1211 West Wind Drive, and maintaining an 80-foot right-of-way, which is the narrowest on the street in that neighborhood. Since you all have received your staff reports, I've spoken with Mr. Tosh, and he has some more information to relay to you all about the swimming pool and how far it's going to set and what a new setback would look like. So, Rick, if you want to explain.
Yes, I do have some information I would like to pass out to you all. This, what I'm giving you now, this is from Aloha Pools. They're the ones that's contracted to put in the pool. And they have prepared a scale graphic site plan, which I have laid out on the subdivision plat.
So this is,
I've got-
this,
Is this new, different?
That's
This is new.
Okay.
This has the pool on it.
spotted.
It also has proposed property lines and shows the square footage that would remain after the pool is constructed. As you can see, this is a good-sized swimming pool. The pool itself is an 18 by 36 pool with a 8-foot concrete apron on the ends of it and 4-foot concrete apron on the sides. It sits directly behind the existing residence. And on this pool layout drawing, I have shown it in here in relationship to the house and property lines. And I've put in a proposed property line, you know, in order to make a lot, the remaining lot there on the vacant portion. And once the pool's in place, I looked at it from a standpoint, they're going to have landscaping around it, probably a privacy fence. So it came 15 feet off the pool and put a property line in radial to the road, which is normal practical layout of side lot lines when you're in a curve right away. And that would leave a lot of a little over 10,000 square feet, which does not meet the zoning requirements of 12,000 square feet. So I kept moving the property line over until I got 12,000 square feet, and that puts it a little over 2.5 feet off the edge of the pool concrete apron, which is, you know, it doesn't leave much room for maintenance or for landscaping or practical use around the pool. So we are asking, you know, in lieu of this information, that the commission consider this to be approved rather than denied. I do have Mr. Straub here with me tonight. If y'all have any questions that for the landowner that I might not be able to answer. He's here, he could answer those questions for you.
I just have a question about the layout of the pool. I know this is probably what you envision and what you'd really like to have, the layout the way it is. Is there any opportunity to shift the pool so that it goes this way instead of that way? I'm just asking.
We need to meet with our landscaper, Jacob Hayden, as far as like outlining how it's set up, as far as how it's going to drain once you put the pool in.
Sure.
How the landscaping and the land, because it falls off fairly steeply. And so we wanted it centered up to the back of the house, and the easiest way to do that would be the long way versus running wide up against it. If we run it wide, then you go up against, there's a dairy farm up on a hill like right next to us, and that would push up closer to that property line, which is what we do not want, which is why we chose to go lengthwise.
So tell me the ramifications of the 2.5 or 2.65 feet from the property line in the corner of that pool. Does that
Yes,
create-
if we put in a 12,000 square foot lot, that lot line would be 2.65 feet off the edge of that pool.
And does that violate subdivision restrictions or?
No, not that I know of. It's just not.
It just makes it
It's just
tight.
not practical for landscaping and for use
So-
around the pool.
A waiver of a setback or of any kind like that is not
No,
needed? Okay.
no. Am I correct?
You're correct, Rick.
Yeah.
So in theory, he could build that pool right up against the property line anyway?
He could, but he couldn't
Okay.
use around it, yeah.
Right.
He wouldn't have use around the pool.
We, just to add on to that, we allow accessory structures and setbacks, things like pools, pergolas,
Right.
stuff like that.
That's what, I don't know what subdivision restrictions are in there. And
Yeah, and that's what I don't know, so.
Hopefully, our surveyor knows those and counsel us on that.
Josh, the staff's recommendations say that you all would like to move or redirect the property line to create a lot no smaller than 18,300 feet. Even with the best estimate here, it looks like we're creating a lot that's 12,000 square feet, right? Am I looking at that right?
That's correct, yeah.
And 12,000
So-
square feet is the minimum. apparently.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
Minimum per
lot size for
zoning.
this zone, uh-huh.
Yeah. We don't have any lot size restrictions per the HOA?
Heard of Rick on that one.
Well, this subdivision was originally, when it was originally platted, it was platted through the County Planning Commission.
I know.
This was annexed in.
I don't
So the
know.
restrictions are, they're along the guidelines of what's conducive in the county. To my knowledge, there are no restrictions in here that prevent pools or prevent pools in, in the location that we have. Most of it deals with, the square footage of the structures and how you keep your,
I'd like to ask again, I know you answered Kathy, but I guess I didn't really understand it. It seems to me that the pool the other way would be more in compliance with, having that lot bigger. So what's the reason of why the pool couldn't be turned?
There is a steep drop off on the lot is flattened, and there's a steep drop off to the road on the west end.
Well, what about moving the
There's this hill
pool
right
closer
here, which I think that
to the house?
right here.
The way it's situated there now, move it
turn it
closer to the
like that.
house.
And that's something we would have to consult with our
But-
landscaper to make sure that.
Oh, okay.
that-
I'm not talking about
But my-
the corner
my-
there. I'm talking about, yeah, moving it.
But my point
That
is,
distance is, they're
even
gonna be
if we-
grassed in, it'll be concrete all right around.
Told them, and they're the ones that recommend.
my point is that even if it were turned, it wouldn't necessarily have to go that way. It could go the other way.
Initially.
And if it went the other way, or pushing up against,
Before they ever started.
basically brush that's coming off of a large hill where a dairy farm sits. And we prefer not to have our pool directly underneath.
And you're saying this way is
May I
where the,
approach?
sure, this way is where the dairy farm is.
No, the other way.
Okay, so I'm saying what,
There you
I was
go.
listening to.
dairy farm's here, so, okay, what if it went like this?
And this is where it begins to.
Okay, where the slope
And
is.
I'm not sure if you got on the survey, how far from the road where it starts to slant.
It doesn't.
Is this where you
I don't
talk
think
about
we could pick up
sliding doors
18,000
in the
square
ocean?
feet.
No, but you get 12.
Now, what's that, just barely?
That's just barely. That's
Well,
a lot of
and
involved.
I think our concern on
We
that,
bought for the
Dan, was
purpose of-
maintaining the size of the lots for the
Yes,
character
so
We're still behind us.
that
Right.
subdivision.
Which a couple of other neighbors have done.
So my next question would be then, say that this would be approved by us. Are you sure there would not be a problem with the homeowners association? I mean, because,
See that house right there?
I've already contacted.
It would never fit in
David
here.
Hartman,
No, I know
Secretary
that, but
of the association, and he sent me
Some
the
guys,
guidelines.
like
Basically,
me,
all
when I
he sent
watched
me
our
were
house that I
guidelines,
did.
fence, that had to be around the- there was nothing,
I don't know.
being against.
but did you specifically ask him about the size of this lot then being?
I did not
compliant?
specifically, because we were told we pay homeowners
Sure.
dues.
Yes.
$225 per lot. And when we bought the lot a few years ago, then we started to get, a $450 bill at the end of the year. And I asked David Hart and also emailed the head of the association, accountant, I guess. And she said, well, all you have to do is replat the two lots into one. And that's what first gave us the idea, and this was even before the pool came into, fruition. We just wanted to combine into one, to number one, save on homeowners.
HOA
dues.
fees, yeah.
$25
Sure.
which is not that bad.
Sure.
And also to prevent someone else from building behind us. We had no intention of, selling the lot at any point.
I know that neither of you have exhibited expertise in building, but just your opinion on, would the, as amended Lot 9 be a buildable lot at 12,000 square feet?
Well, that's something we was discussing over here with the size of the existing home there that you see there on the corner. It would not fit in that proposed lot.
Well, maybe not that one.
Yeah,
but
no, I know.
don't know what the
What-
deed restrictions for the minimum size of the house.
Well, now that I don't know. This house is, it's kind of typical of what
Is
you
it?
see in the
I was
neighborhood.
thinking it
Yeah.
was maybe larger than what was.
What do you think?
Minimum
think
in the
the-
neighborhood is between 3,000 and 3,200 square feet minimum. And ours is 38, 48.
So you probably would have a tough time squeezing a 3,200 square foot house.
Well, you would.
Yeah.
Long
How long have you all-
driveways and walkways.
How long have you all owned the empty lot?
Approximately 2 to 3 years.
2, 3 years? And you have no plans of selling it?
No. We've moved
So-
about 11 times in our lifetime. we have
So
no-
even if we do this amendment and create a 12,000 square foot lot, you're still paying 2 HOA.
Correct.
Okay.
And he's not going to sell the lot.
And he's not going to sell the lot, yes.
So why wouldn't it be made into just one big lot? What's the negative on that?
The staff would like that to eventually be built upon for the density of and the
Right.
future property taxes of the
Which is,
of our property.
Right. That was staff's initial recommendation, was for density, to maintain it in the Grove Section 2. Just so there would be another lot that we would hope would be built on in the future, but it sounds like that's not the case anymore.
I might add that the property that we just presented on Primrose, we took 3 lots and made them into 2. We did away with a vacant lot on that as well.
yeah, I was about to say, we did combine another lot.
There have been some
in the
other
Grove
lots in the
recently.
Grove that we've done that with
Yes.
also.
Well, it seems to me the decision comes down to, do we want to deny this? And the same result is going to be that it's going to be an empty lot.
It's still going to sit vacant.
Or we want to look at
Yeah,
the practical reality and
exactly.
Do we have a staff recommendation that is different than what we've already had, or now hearing the new facts, or?
Well, the recommendation is before you, that,
Okay.
and of course, that's the purpose of tonight, is to get the new information.
Sure.
So as staff, we're going to stand behind what we presented, but if you all want to do something different, we're perfectly fine with that.
I think this should be approved personally, so procedurally, I think
We
the
have
motion's
to-
already been made.
Right.
So,
We have two options. We can either amend the motion,
let's say,
or we can deny the motion and then present a different motion.
I move that we
The
amend the
cleanest thing would
motion.
be to amend the motion.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to amend the motion to, instead of denying it, to approving it.
Since I made the motion to begin with, I think.
Like, you have to consent to it.
You have to consent.
Yes, and I
Yes.
can consent.
Okay.
Would you like to second that?
Well, you also need the consent of whoever seconded the original motion.
Shadle.
I move to amend it.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm in
Move.
agreement with that. Are you in agreement with that? Right. Okay.
And you're moving to amend to approval.
Yeah, and
Change your
replace the
language to
word deny with approve.
And what we're approving is the original request, which was to consolidate two lots into one.
Correct.
Okay.
Abolishing the lot line.
Yes.
Is that agreeable with you? Just want to check and make sure.
Was there a second on that motion?
There isn't yet.
Okay.
Second.
I asked you if you wanted to second.
Oh,
You didn't say
no.
yes, so.
I had to agree first.
Okay, so the motion before us is to amend the motion that we have to approve instead of deny. I just want everybody to understand what we're doing. We're amending the motion. All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bradford,
Aye.
Ms. Shramky,
Aye.
Mr. Shadle,
Aye.
Mr. Wade,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Now, we need to vote on the amended motion, which is to approve. Call the
Ready?
roll, please.
Mr. Wade,
Aye.
Mr. Bradford,
Aye.
Ms. Shramky,
Aye.
Mr. Shadle,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Thank you. Ms. Shramky, I'm sorry, you have the next item of business, the Lone Oak Road property?
I move that this commission receive and file the application of Paducah Lone Oak LLC for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 2440 and 2470 Lone Oak Road. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and the dedication of streets be given, and approval of the submitted plat be granted.
Second?
Second by Bradford.
This is just to create a brand-new lot for commercial development in front of Kmart, and Mr. Gardner is here to answer any further questions you may have.
I'm sure you're familiar with this property. Obviously, it's set here for a little while vacant. It has new owners that are local and not away. So what they are doing is, at first, creating an outlot there at the intersection of Lone Oak Road and Bleach Road for sale, to advertise and maybe construct some kind of office building there. And then hopefully they will find a tenant for the existing building. If not, there may be further divisions of this property. It's not just this property that they own. They actually own on down Bleach Road where there's woods, and it goes all the way down toward the school. They own a lot of land all down there that has not been developed. But this has all now been purchased by a local developer who is wanting to subdivide it and advertise it in different ways. And you can see there's also an existing track up on the upper left-hand corner that says Paducah Lone Oak LLC. That has already actually been cut out previously.
I was going to say, I thought we had already cut out part of this property, and we had.
It's part of the asphalt parking, but it was owned by somebody else. There were actually two different owners.
Okay.
You're talking about the Elizabeth Birch property? Is that what
Yes.
you're talking-
Yes.
Yeah, but you said it's a local owner, even though the application that comes in has a New York address?
Does, but the Paducah Lone Oak LLC they're actually local people.
Okay.
But before they got it, it was owned by another family, which we had to send it off to New York to get signed.
Okay.
And there's possible, there could, as you see, there's the actual entrance in the Kmart, we're putting in a 50 by 75 foot ingress and egress for them to use that.
You're talking about on this center that's,
Right, there won't be any new entrances
Right.
created
right,
on
Well-
Lone Oak Road or Bleach Road.
right. That's
Too
one of the things I
dangerous.
want to make sure about.
Will they have an easement to the Bleach Road?
No,
They will not have an easement to
No.
that part.
no, they're gonna save that possibly for where the existing building is, hopefully to market it.
I understand that's a major way to get into that lot, or that whole development.
It is. But
They're
right now,
probably-
they just want to cut out the outlot and have one entrance into it.
And then worry about the rest later.
Right.
There are probably a lot of people who, if this is developed, will use that entrance even though it's not.
It may be. But I don't know, if we design it where there's curb and gutter back there, they won't be able to get in back there.
Okay.
This lot that we're creating needs to stand on its own and not have to use that entrance, because they've got further ideas about how to use that entrance in the future. And there isn't any other, well, there's no plans whatsoever to have any other curb cuts or entrances put in on Lone Oak Road or Bleach Road. Very heavily trafficked
Yes, it
area,
is.
as you all know.
Was a small.
Any more questions, comments? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Shramky?
Aye.
Mr. Shadle?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. Mr. Bradford, you have our final item of business.
I move that this commission receive and file the application of C Oil Company for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 1616, 1700, 1720, and 1726 Urban Cobb Drive and 305 Chamblin Avenue. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and the dedication of streets be given and approval of the submitted plat be granted.
Second?
Second by Wade.
The commission has seen this area before. Back in August, there was a plat submitted that was pulled until they closed that portion of DAV Drive, which has since happened. Now they're just cleaning up the right-of-ways and the existing property lines. And Mr. Tosh can elaborate on that if y'all would like.
As y'all can see, there are numerous interior lot lines within this property. There's a portion of Chamblin Avenue that ran through this, and Green Street, what used to be known as Green Street, now is DAV Drive, which was closed a number of years ago. And when that was closed, the entire right-of-ways were retained as public utility easements. Kind of defeated the purpose of closing the road doing that. We've gotten with all the utility companies, and they have agreed to reduce the easements down to a normal width where we could, and do away with easements completely in areas where there are no existing utilities. So by this plat, we are reducing those utility easements and abolishing the interior lot lines. The owner has also agreed to dedicate a 10-foot wide strip that runs along the rear of their property, which is adjacent to the railroad right-of-way, for a bike and pedestrian easement. This is something that the city approached us about, for future use. There are no other easements in this area, but this was an opportunity to gain an easement on this portion of the property, and the owner was willing to do that.
Did I understand correctly that there will be fuel storage or fuel distribution?
There already is. Yes, that's what the site is used as.
But they're going to expand it?
Yes,
or-
they're looking at doing a building to the, it'd be to the east of the existing building that's there now. That's something that is in the works.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Ms. Shramky?
Aye.
Mr. Shadle?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Chair Crecilius?
Aye. That's our last item of business. If there is no other business to come before the commission tonight, we stand adjourned at 6:01.